part of my own reflection on my coat of arms, and by the way, also a diocesan coat of arms now, is some of the stories that it reminds me of. I suppose my own personal conversion, if you like, firstly came about as an intellectual conversion. I woke up at something called Hearts Aflame, a summer school, to the intellectual depth and beauty of Roman Catholicism, and that's encapsulated to some extent in the little scriptural message from the Psalms that I have at the bottom of my coat of arms: show us your light and your truth. I think the connection between love and truth is absolutely critical, and the way in which the light from Christ illumines that truth and gives it a certain depth and profundity, if you like, that's been important to me. As I mentioned to some extent in an earlier part of my analysis of the coat of arms, the Eucharist, I really had a sense of conversion when I decided, and it was a grace decision, to spend time in adoration every day if I can, contemplating the Lord in the Blessed Sacrament, the way in which He feeds and nourishes us through reception of the Blessed Sacrament, and the way in which the Church has Christ as its centre point, symbolised in the Eucharist. They've certainly been very important to me. It prompts me to say, if we're not being nourished by the Eucharist, I think we're missing something extremely important in our Catholic life. I think if the Church has got any genius at all, and I know that she does, it's in the Church's great tradition of fostering the spiritual life. And for me, as I've mentioned, Teresa of Avila was one of those spiritual geniuses. Her ability to enter into deep prayer, I think, marked out her life in a particular way, and that's my own aspirations. I get nowhere near that, by the way, but Teresa of Avila is a beautiful inspiration for me. I know that as a young woman she was somewhat worldly, and her own conversion led her to a deepening of the spiritual life. I would certainly accuse myself of something of that journey as well. In my younger life, I lived in the world. I was a young man of adventure, but as I mature now, I know that it's the spiritual life which is where we gain our wisdom.